apropos of nothing. Meaning, referring to something unrelated in a conversation. Example, he suddenly mentioned politics, apropos of nothing, during our discussion about movies. Cacophony of voices. Meaning, a harsh mixture of sounds or voices. Example, the city street was filled with a cacophony of voices, car horns, and construction noises. Ephemeral beauty. Meaning, beauty that is fleeting or short-lived. Example, the sunset's ephemeral beauty painted the sky in vibrant hues that lasted only a few minutes. Obfuscate the issue. Meaning, to deliberately make something unclear or confusing. Example, his convoluted explanation only served to obfuscate the issue further. Salient point. Meaning, the most important or prominent aspect of something. Example, the speaker highlighted the salient points of the research during the conference. Cognizant of the fact. Meaning, aware or knowledgeable about a particular fact. Example, she was cognizant of the fact that her hard work had paid off. Languish in obscurity. Meaning, to remain unnoticed or ignored over a period of time. Example, despite his talent, the artist's work continued to languish in obscurity until a recent exhibition. Pervasive influence. Meaning, an influence that spreads widely and affects many areas. Example, technology's pervasive influence has transformed the way we communicate and conduct business. Aesthetic sensibilities. Meaning, a person's ability to appreciate and understand beauty and art. Example, the gallery appealed to her aesthetic sensibilities, with its collection of modern and abstract art. Ostensibly supportive. Meaning, seemingly supportive, but with hidden motives. Example, he was ostensibly supportive of her decision, but later it became clear he had ulterior motives. Pedantic attention. Meaning, excessively focused on minor details or rules. Example, his pedantic attention to grammar often slowed down the writing process. Ubiquitous presence. Meaning, being present everywhere at the same time. Example, in today's digital age, smartphones have become a ubiquitous presence in our lives. Panacea for problems. Meaning, a solution or remedy for all problems. Example, technology is often touted as a panacea for educational challenges, but it's not a guaranteed fix. Zealous advocacy. Meaning, passionate and fervent support for a cause or idea. Example, her zealous advocacy for environmental conservation inspired others to take action. Egregious error. Meaning, an extremely noticeable and glaring mistake. Example, the report contained an egregious error in the calculations, undermining its credibility. Ineffable beauty. Meaning, beauty that is beyond description or expression in words. Example, the view from the mountaintop left her speechless, its ineffable beauty overwhelming her senses. Tenuous connection. Meaning, a weak or fragile connection between two things. Example, the link between the suspect and the crime was tenuous, relying on circumstantial evidence. Mellifluous voice. Meaning, a smooth and sweet-sounding voice. Example, the singer's mellifluous voice captivated the audience, leaving them enchanted. Exacerbate the situation. Meaning, to make a situation worse or more intense. Example, his inflammatory remarks only served to exacerbate the already tense atmosphere. Alacrity in response. Meaning, swift and eager readiness in responding to a situation. Example, the firefighters displayed alacrity in their response to the emergency call. Juxtaposition of ideas. Meaning, the act of placing contrasting ideas or elements together. Example, the filmmaker's use of light and dark scenes created a striking juxtaposition of ideas in the movie. Myriad possibilities. Meaning, countless or numerous possibilities. Example, the city offered a myriad of dining options, from upscale restaurants to cozy cafes. Pernicious influence. Meaning, harmful and destructive influence. Example, the rise of fake news poses a pernicious influence on public discourse. Reticent about sharing. Meaning, reluctant or reserved when it comes to sharing information. Example, he remained reticent about his personal life, rarely divulging details to anyone. Resplendent in attire. Meaning, dressed in a magnificent or splendid manner. Example, the guests at the gala were resplendent in their formal attire, adorned with jewels and elegant dresses. Quintessential example. Meaning, the most perfect or typical example of something. Example, the Eiffel Tower is often considered the quintessential example of French architecture. Equivocate on issues. Meaning, to be deliberately vague or ambiguous in order to avoid giving a direct answer. Example, politicians often equivocate on sensitive issues to avoid alienating any voter base. Voracious reader. Meaning, a person who has an insatiable appetite for reading. Example, from novels to scientific papers, she was a voracious reader, devouring written material in various genres. Ominous foreshadowing. Meaning, a sign or indication that something bad is about to happen. Example, the dark clouds gathering on the horizon served as an ominous foreshadowing of the impending storm. Exude confidence. Meaning, to display or radiate self-assuredness and poise. Example, despite her nervousness, she managed to exude confidence during the important presentation. Precarious situation. Meaning, a situation that is dangerously unstable or uncertain. Example, the economy's volatility has left many businesses in a precarious situation. Cacophony of colors. Meaning, a chaotic and vibrant mix of colors. Example, the marketplace was filled with a cacophony of colors from the various stalls selling textiles and spices. Indomitable spirit. Meaning, an unconquerable and unyielding determination. Example, despite facing numerous setbacks, her indomitable spirit kept her striving for success. Eloquent speaker. Meaning, a person who speaks with fluency, persuasiveness, and grace. Example, the senator's eloquent speech resonated with the audience and swayed their opinions. Unprecedented growth. Meaning, growth that has never been seen or experienced before. Example, the startup achieved unprecedented growth in its first year, surprising even industry experts. Euphemistic language. Meaning, the use of mild or indirect language to avoid explicitness. Example, instead of saying passed away, she used euphemistic language and said that her grandmother had gone to a better place. Veritable masterpiece. Meaning, an actual and remarkable masterpiece. Example, the chef's creation was a veritable masterpiece, impressing both the eye and the palate. Surreptitious glance. Meaning, a secret or stealthy glance. Example, she stole a surreptitious glance at her phone to check the time during the meeting. Ineffable sadness. Meaning, a sadness too deep to be expressed in words. Example, the loss of a loved one brought an ineffable sadness that words could not adequately describe. Sycophantic behavior. Meaning, obsequious flattery or praise to gain favor. Example, the employee's sycophantic behavior towards the boss was transparent and unconvincing. Lucid explanation. Meaning, a clear and easily understandable explanation. Example, the professor provided a lucid explanation of the complex scientific theory. Labyrinthine structure. Meaning, a structure that is intricate and maze-like. Example, the old mansion had a labyrinthine structure with countless rooms and corridors. Copious notes. Meaning, abundant or extensive notes. Example, she took copious notes during the lecture to ensure she captured all the important details. Extraneous information. Meaning, information that is irrelevant or unnecessary. Example, the report was cluttered with extraneous information, making it difficult to discern the key points. Auspicious beginning. Meaning, a promising and favorable start. Example, the project got off to an auspicious beginning with strong support from stakeholders. Exemplary behavior. Meaning, behavior that sets a high standard and serves as an example. Example, his exemplary behavior in the community earned him the respect of his peers. Nefarious motives. Meaning, wicked or malicious intentions. Example, the antagonist's nefarious motives were slowly revealed as the plot unfolded. Vicarious experience. Meaning, an experience gained through the feelings or actions of another person. Example, through books and movies, she gained a vicarious experience of different cultures and eras. Aesthetic appeal. Meaning, the visual or artistic attractiveness of something. Example, the modern architecture of the building added to its aesthetic appeal. Insidious influence. Meaning, a gradual and harmful influence that goes unnoticed. Example, Social media's insidious influence on self-esteem is a growing concern in today's society. These phrases should help you express yourself more eloquently and precisely in various contexts. Remember to consider the appropriate context and tone when using these advanced phrases.